Hello enemies and book lovers, my name is Ash and welcome back to my channel. Somehow it is November. Well, it's about to be November, but it's almost November. I feel like ever since 2020, everything's just been going very quickly and I'm not sure. I don't like it. So at this point, you probably know the drill on how this works. This is my Sims TBR video. My sim, Corina, will be choosing books for me, usually genre-based, but I did change a few things after this video was filmed. So I actually decreased the amount of books to 5 for every genre to 2 for every genre. That way there is a chance that I can also get the prompts that I did last month. The prompts I did was TBR Chest, a booktuber favorite, and then continue a series. I think I also wanted to add more things, so I'm going to be doing a few prompts, not a lot, alongside these genres. So after this video, I did change it so that hopefully within the next few months, it will be a lot more likely that I might choose a prompt and not only a genre. But next I'm going to show you the name that is chosen, and I'm going to show you her preferences, like who she ends up being with in the future, because soon enough, she's going to want to get with someone, maybe have kids, you know, settle down a bit. So with that, let's just go and continue and go on to that part of the video. The only thing I'm going to be doing is spinning for my Sims cat's name. So our male cat that we got last time, we are going to be choosing a name. There was 3 people that commented, so thank you all for commenting. I'm going to spin the wheel and have it choose like that. That way it's a bit more fair. So I'm going to do that instead of choosing myself. I love them all. So regardless of what it's chosen, I will honestly love them. It's just like perfect. I love the names. We're gonna spin it and see who's chosen. I also have the channel names, and whoever gets chosen, I'm gonna put into my description. That way, if you want to check them out, please do. All these people are amazing. Please check them out if you want to. Let's see what name is chosen. I honestly thought it was gonna be Dante. Fitz from Chrissy's Purple Library. Please check her out. She's amazing. I purposely gave her purple because I know she likes purple. So I put that underneath that one, and look at that. It worked out perfectly. I read the first book, Assassin's Apprentice, I think it was like last month. And obviously Fitz has a connection with animals. So this works out really well. So thank you for commenting and putting in your names. I appreciate it. I also have a video of me rolling my D4 to see how many choices my sim has to choose for me this month. And of course I had to roll a 4. I'm not salty. So that means my sim is going to be choosing 4 prompts or genres for me this month. Most likely genres, but let's see if they get a prompt this month. That'd be kind of cool. So I'm going to be spinning for Corina's preferences, either with gender or sexuality or romantic interest. So this is like a mix of different things. I always do this for my sims because I like to just have a different, you know, I don't want to have all my characters be the same. So let's see her preference, and yeah. Oh my gosh, polyamorous. Okay, so that means she has more than one partner. Okay, well, I'm gonna spin again to see her preferences. So, okay, so she's gonna have 2 men, I guess. This is some all of the reverse harems I've read in my life are coming back to me right now. I have nothing against polyamory. I'm literally writing a fantasy book with polyamory in it as the main romantic, you know, thing, but I just didn't expect it, but sure. Corina's gonna have 2 men. You know what, good for her. I think Mitchell will be one of them. She does like him, she's interested in him, so I think Mitchell will be the first guy that she ends up being with, and then I'll kind of let the second one be natural. I kind of want her to look around. Me giving Mitchell some custom content. I like to make my sims look good. I'll show you the before and after. So I love making my sims look amazing. So I'm gonna be doing that the next time I do it, and I'm just shocked still. Let's just move on to the TBR portion of my video. All right, so we are back with our sims right now. This is obviously Maribel. Fitz is sleeping. I'm just gonna check him out. There he is, being adorable, as always. His name has officially been changed over, so now we have our names for our kittens, and I'm really happy about it. I love them both so much. So since she won't do it herself because she has so many things in her house now to do and look at, she's not going to be choosing to read books anymore. So I had to pretty much force her to do it. I don't know why that sounds so mean, but I don't know, man. It's not that bad. Let us have her read something. This will randomize something. I'm not even gonna look at the bottom left corner because then it shows me what it is. Understandable. All right. So the first thing she chose was a children's book. If you remember, a children's book is a middle grade or a young adult book. So that is anything pretty much under my own age demographic. So that is children's or young adult. It kind of works out well. I have an eARC that I asked for on Netgalley, so I'm hoping I can get that. So that does count as a young adult book. Okay, this could work out. I think this could work out for me. If she gets more than 1 young adult book though, I'm not sure if that's gonna work out for me. Oh boy, she got money. Don't worry about it. She's not ripping off authors. That's It's fine. I'm having her write my favorite books, just so that way she can get royalties for it. Obviously, she's not the author of these books, unless Rick Riordan just turned into a sim, but you know what I mean. Let's have her read something else. So this is number 2 out of 4. This is the second book out of 4. I'm gonna try not to look at the book. I know what the book covers mean now. Actually, do I know what this one is? Why does she keep going over here? She has a whole living room. All right, let's see. A mystery. Wait, this is perfect. Mystery is either a thriller, a mystery, a crime, or a horror. And I wanted to read Stephen King this month. So this works out really well. I already have Stephen King on my shelf from my library. So it's like fate, okay? But if she chooses another young adult or another mystery, I think I'm gonna like not be that happy about it, but I'm happy with one mystery. Thank you, Corina. Corina, are you gonna be nice to me for the rest of the video? We'll hope. All right, Corina decided to go. What is she doing on the computer? She's trolling. Oh my God, Corina, don't do that. Corina, you're an author. You're gonna get canceled. You're gonna get canceled if you do that, Corina. Don't do that. You're gonna be on Twitter. Don't do that. Next book. Next to fantasy. It's being too nice to me. So, a fantasy book. I read a fantasy every single month. So this is pretty simple for me. Right, so a fantasy book, I have to read the next book in the Inheritance Cycle. Why am I struggling to say that word? This is the 3rd book, so I hope she only has 1 more left to go. I am a little nervous because it's been going well. If I get a sci-fi mystery or children's book, I don't think I'm gonna have trouble. I'm gonna have a hard time. Last one, Corina. This is right. So this is a young adult or middle grade again. So I have 2 of these. All right, this is going to be an interesting month. I don't really read much young adult anymore. I used to read it very, very exclusively from 2018 to 2020. And then from 2020 to now, I've been reading a lot more adult. So this is going to be an interesting thing for me to go through. We have 2 children's, which I'm going to put as young adult. So we have 2 young adult books, 1 mystery, which I'm going to put as a horror, and then 1 fantasy book. I can work with this. It's going to be tricky. It's going to be a little bit tricky. I think the young adult, the extra one, kind of threw me off. But I think I'll be able to do it. Hopefully. We'll be seeing Corina next month and her cute cats, and we will be seeing what she chooses for me then. I mean, so far she hasn't been that mean to me. She could have got like just sci-fi for me. That would have been horrible. So can't be too upset about that. All right, that's finished, so let's move on. So Corina chose 4 books for me. I think it was a mystery, which I turned into a horror book. I got a fantasy, and then I got 2 children's. I'm gonna make them both into YA, like I already mentioned, so it's a little bit easier for me. I don't really think I want to read middle grade, so I'm gonna just stick with YA. Now the first few choices were actually pretty easy for me. I would say that the mystery and the fantasy book were really simple for me to choose from, but the YAs kind of threw me for a loop, I'll be honest with you. The first thing I'm going to be reading in November is Bersinger by Christopher Paolini. This is the 3rd book in the Inheritance Cycle series. I think there's 4 books in total with like a side novella book. I have not been loving this series. I'll be completely honest with you. It's not something I am dying to keep reading. I would have DNF'd it, but my boyfriend wants me to read it, and I just really want to try and like it. He said this is the best book in the series, and if I'm reading it and I'm halfway through and I still don't like it, I might DNF it, but I'm gonna try to give this a chance. 1 more chance. This is the last book I'm gonna give a chance to, even though it's the 3rd out of the 4 books. So giving it a last chance is kind of a bit late, but you know what I mean. I've talked about this book in countless other videos and TBR videos and wrap-ups, so I won't really get into it. It's a dragon series. This is pretty old, actually, from I think the early 2000s. I just called that old. And I called myself old, technically. Well, I am getting older. Sorry, midlife crisis on video, sorry. So yeah, that's gonna be my first book. I'm gonna be reading it really slowly over the month, which I've been doing with these books. They've just been hard for me to kind of grasp, so I'm just kind of reading it really slowly. The next book I'm actually so excited for. I've been wanting to read a Stephen King book for like 2 months, and I'm finally at that point where I can read one. I am reading Stephen King's books chronologically. I started off not chronologically. The first book I ever read by him was Full Dark No Stars, which is a short story collection, and that was the first time I ever read from him, which was probably not the best idea because I didn't love all the stories in that book. But 1922, is that it? I always get confused with the date. I think 1922 is one of my favorite stories by him. It's probably the scariest and the most like eerie that I've ever read from him, so I really enjoyed it. I read The Stand, I read It, I read Pet Sematary, I read Carrie. I've read a lot of the first few ones, but the next one I have to be reading is Night Shift by obviously Stephen King. This is, I think, his first ever short story collection. I have like a checklist on a Google document that has all of the books in chronological order that I have to read from him, and this was the next one. I'm pretty excited about it. I do plan on doing a review. I'm gonna go through all the short stories in this book and review them and rate them individually. I will be doing a video on that, so you could look forward to that if you even care. If you don't care, that's fine, but I'm looking forward to reading this. So there are 20 short stories, and this is a 500-page book. This is my mystery choice for my sim because mystery can also mean horror in my rules. I'm really excited to finally get into Stephen King again. I've been really wanting to read horror. This is the next book in his publication where it is chronologically written, so this is the one I'm going to be reading, and I think the next one is A Long Walk, and I've been really wanting to read that book, so I'm really looking forward to that as well. Okay, this is where we get to the harder part, okay? This is going to be difficult for me. So this is the 2 YA books I have to read, and I'm having a crisis. Originally, I had about 3 books that I asked for or requested on Netgalley. Netgalley is a website. If you are a booktuber, I would really recommend looking at it if you haven't before. It is a website that lets you take out eARCs or electronic ARCs, which are advanced reader copies. So you can read books before they come out, and that means you can review them and give honest reviews and ratings in response to the author getting a little bit of engagement and hopefully helping them with their books when they're published. I haven't requested a lot of books on there. I think maybe 12, and I think 4 were declined. This was before I had BookTube. I'm not sure if I would get more accepted because of YouTube. I requested 3 books on there. It's been over half a month, and I just pretty much declined them all because I got to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I'll be getting to the books in November. I haven't been accepted yet. So I decided to just decline them, and I went to the read now section, which essentially means that you can read them instantly. You don't have to request them. Definitely what I'm going to be reading for the month of November is a YA novel. That is The Fall of Souls by R.A. Moreau. I'm going to be looking down because I'm going to kind of be reading about what it's about. There's not a lot of information on Goodreads right now, but the author does have a website, and there's a little bit more information about her and the book. This is an adult fantasy romance written by a female Black author, which I don't see very much or often enough, so I wanted to really try this, and also it was just like the cover is gorgeous, so I thought I wanted to try it. Also, I would suggest going on to her website. I will actually link the website down below because she has other authors or other Black female authors linked into her website, so I found a few more fantasy romances written by Black women, and I'm here for it. So please look at her website down below. So a little bit about the story. Obviously, I'm very bad at recapping, so this is going to be tragic, okay? I'm so sorry. So this is a reimagined storytelling of Nebian gods and goddesses in, of course, adult fantasy romance. Wait, this is an adult fantasy romance. It's not a YA. Why did I think it was YA? It's okay. I have an extra book this month I can read, so this is okay. This is okay. So this is not part of the Sims choice. This is just my own choice, and I'm fine with it. Adult romance is my favorite, so this works out. It's not YA though. Why did I think that? Oh, I had another one on request that I didn't get that was YA. Like I said, it's a reimagined story of Nebian gods and goddesses filled with passion, secrets, and betrayal. Our main character, Onia, loses her family and gives up on the understanding of her life and why she sees and can read spirits. A wild spirit calls to her, and that of a man, a handsome man actually it says on here, who rescues her from the demons hell-bent on dragging her to the pit. She must leave her mortal life behind to uncover the truth of her heavenly heritage. Ra, the perfect guardian, disciplined, composed, obedient until an ill-fated night caused him to falter. Ra is not the god, not the Egyptian god. These are Nebian gods. I'm so curious. Let me just look up something. I just found out like 10 seconds ago that this is a romance pretty much with Ra, the sun god of ancient Egypt. Okay, I'm listening. I love mythology. I love stuff about gods and goddesses, especially of like the past. So this is pretty awesome. I love Ra. Although my favorite god is Anubis in all mythologies, I don't really know why he's just so cool. Now tasked with the security of the only living heir to the Hall, the judgment places all souls, Ross sees his chance to remedy this mistake. When he meets the woman meant to become the next empress, he spirits decides that she's more than just his duty, and he vows to protect her against all odds, even if it means giving her up. Thrust into the lethal politics and divined and the shadowed secrets of the Hall, Onia fights to claim her birthright before the cycle of rebirth collapses, though she soon realizes the same souls can't be saved. Please note this book contains explicit content, mature elements, including language, violence, and on-page smut. It's intended for 18 and older. This is a story about Ra and Onia. Onia is a girl who loses her family and is kind of just withdrawn from everything. She's able to see spirits. One day she sees a spirit of Ra and he protects her and has to kind of watch over her. I'm hoping this will work out really well. Even if it doesn't, I want to support indie authors. I think this is her debut novel, maybe. I don't know for sure, but I think this is going to be a fun time. This is also a read now option, so if you are interested in this book and you have Netgalley, you can literally download this right now. If you have a Kindle, you can also put your Netgalley books onto your Kindle. That's how I read them. The page numbers are always out of whack because these are advanced reader copies. These are not final editions. There's still editing mistakes and the pages aren't really counted yet. So it's a bit weird, but it reads really well anyway. So I would recommend checking out Netgalley if you haven't, especially if you're a booktuber or anyone that's in that community. And yeah, this book honestly sounds incredible. So I am looking forward to it immensely and I can't wait to get to it. But that just leaves me with 2 more YAs that I didn't know I was gonna have to read. Oh boy. Now technically this one I had on my list for the past like 2 months because I have to read it. And there's so many times I've put this on my list and I've never read it. I don't even know if I want to show it. It's like a curse. If I show it, I won't read it. I will try, I promise. For my first choice for my Sims YA book, or the children's book, I will be choosing City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. This is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series. I have been reading this series, no joke, probably for over 5 years, and I'm not done it yet. I'm also on the last book of the Infernal Devices, and I want to read this and then the Infernal Devices because I'm reading it in like a certain order. So I have to get to this series. I need to finish it so badly. What is wrong with me? You know, what is wrong with me? For my next book, so this is my last book, I think. I mean, I might add more. We'll see. I think this is going to be for the end of the video, the last book. There's 2 things I'm going to be doing for this. I'm going to either be reading Court by Tracy Wolff. This is the 4th book. I haven't continued the series in a long time. I'm not mad at the direction it went in. I'm actually kind of happy where the direction it went in, but I kind of feel like it's a bit younger for me now. Like even when I was reading it, I felt like it was younger. It is kind of reminds me of Zodiac Academy without the smut. It's like a toned down version. It's just such a weird genre. It feels like this genre is pretty prevalent. I see it with Zodiac Academy, and then I see it in Crush, where it's like an academic setting with paranormal entities like vampires and werewolves and dragon shifters. It is very, very similar to the Zodiac Academy series, but without, you know, like the hot scenes. I don't know if I'm going to be continuing this in November. I should, but this is one of the series I need to continue that is young adult that I'm currently in the middle of. So that is definitely an option. I don't know if I'm going to be reading it, but that is one of the options out of the 2, and we'll see at my wrap up what I decide. But that is the first option. The second option is going to be an interesting one. That is me choosing a book for my TBR chest. So it's going to be pretty much randomized. I don't know if I'll read it. I will choose between Crush or this book. I don't know what it is yet. I haven't done it. So I'm going to do it right now while we are watching it. I'm going to be filming it on my iPad, so that way I can show you in real time, I guess. So this is my TBR chest. Sorry if it's a bit shaky. I'm trying to hold my phone on my lap while I do this. Anyway, this is my TBR chest. The YA is like a lighter blue. So I'm going to be choosing a light blue book or a light blue prompt, and that is going to be the book that we have to read. Or I have to read. Why do I say we all the time? It's like I'm trying to include all of you. That's not how it works. We're not reading this together, unless you want to. If you want to read any of these books with me, go ahead, but let's just pick a book finally. Okay, I'm kind of interested in this one. So this is number 11, which means it's an earlier book that I've added. What is it? Oh, we got Fence. Okay. Fence is a graphic novel series. I think it's like male. It's obviously about fencing, and I have honestly been looking at the series for a while now. Not like a huge graphic novel person personally, but I am going to take this recommendation pretty seriously for my TBR chest. Okay. For my second choice for YA, I'm either going to be choosing Court by Tracy Wolff or Fence by... I will put the title up so you can see what the author's name is, sorry. For my newest ones, I do put the author's name in like the very, very late ones. I think I have like 220 books in this chest, so it's a big one. But I think after like the 175 book mark, I add authors' names. So I apologize, I didn't add their name, but I'm going to be putting up the cover and the author's name should be on it. That's probably what I'm going to be reading for the November. Like I said, I'm indifferent on the YA, but I definitely am going to be reading the ones I talked about in the beginning. Editing me here, I forgot one more thing. I also have 2 books at my library on hold that I might be getting in November, so I could also have 2 more books on my TBR for November, and that is River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the has like a bunch of different things for the David Bad trilogy, and of course It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I also have that on hold, so either of those 2 books could be books I read in November. But yeah, I just forgot to mention it. I forgot they were on hold. I don't know when they're coming in, so it's a surprise for me. So they could be potentially November books for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I hope your reading month in November goes well, and let's just hope that it goes great. Like, hopefully the weather's good. Hopefully it doesn't start snowing like crazy. I'm from Canada, so it might. Enjoy your day, enjoy your reading month in November, and I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye.